Hey, good morning. I'm the Worth Playboy.
And I'm my Playboys Bunny.
Welcome to the Morning Hustle, second show of the day. First show for us in 2 weeks, but we'll be more consistent in the future. And this time I really
someday.
I really mean it.
No pressure.
When life slows down.
Yeah.
But we wanted to welcome you to the Morning Hustle. What we like to do on broadcast is delve a little bit deeper into game, relationships, pickup, and
sex.
our favorite subject. I'm a lucky man. And that way, you know, if you go on Twitter, there's guys in our world that, you know, they like to debate. They like to go back and forth. They even, you know, like legislature, men's rights. There's all sorts of things under the red pill umbrella,
Yeah.
you could say. But we like, if you come to our timeline, that you know what you're going to get applicable stuff or information and action steps that you can take that day to improve your game and improve your life. You know?
I cracked up hearing you talk about, like, you know, the different, like, kind of types of men in the space and the kind of different people who do shows and things like that. What was it last week? We had, like, or a couple of weeks ago, we had a comment who was like, that's not what I expected y'all to sound like. And I expected you to be so much more sophisticated. I was like, I'm sorry. Have you been to our timeline?
That's funny.
We're here for fun.
Yeah.
We want to have a good time. I'm like, that sounds boring as fuck.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes, I mean, especially if you're not in this world,
yeah,
you're imagining a polished, you know, product. But what you see with us and what we do and what we convey to you isn't what it's backstage. It's the rehearsals. Yeah. It's how you learn. It's the practice.
Yeah.
You know, it's when you're actually in front of the girl or running your game that, you know, you kind of tighten it up and she doesn't know anything about the background. She doesn't even know how. She just thinks that's your natural state as being handsome and charismatic.
Yeah.
They what would we say? Never let them see you sweat. They don't know what it took, and it's not your job, and it's not their job to know.
Yeah.
You know, they think it's just natural, and girls prefer to think things just showed up.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what all this stuff is. It's sometimes it's the ugly truths. You know,
or they're just fun.
Yeah.
It's okay to just have fun.
It is.
We only get one of these lives, so
better get after it.
Better be fucking fun.
We'll start with a maxim.
Yes.
Maxim number 27. So if you want a wife, stay clear of investing much in girls who constantly remind you they like to have fun, and get bored easily.
We talk about this a lot, that girls who get bored easily, I get bored. That's a serious red flag.
Yeah.
Serious red flag.
And you don't want to necessarily marry one of these girls, even if they put that away for a little while, because it will resurface in about 10 or 15 years. And at 37, 38, now you're the target of her. I'm so bored in my life. And then you get divorced.
And we hear a lot of that with, like, ladies who have gotten divorced. It's like, well, what happened? Why did you? Oh, I was just bored.
I was bored.
They'll destroy their entire life. They'll blow their family up. They'll explode the extended family they've gained, the relationships that they've built, the social circle that they're in, their children's lives, out of boredom.
Boredom. That's how much women do not like being bored and will not stand it. You know, so you got to give them a little drama. You got to inject it in controlled drama every once in a while. It's good for them.
It's true. We did have a question from your morning show this morning that you weren't able to get to. So he's in the comments and he's going to remind us of the question.
Okay.
So, yeah,
cool.
I know. I said, please
That's awesome.
resend it. Yeah.
Good.
So, but until then, we've got some great things from Twitter X that we wanted to go through. And I want to kickstart with, first of all, we love Mac. She's always been pretty solid. And she shared, and I'm sure there have been many who have shared this video already, this wife who is also deep into psychology, PhD, these smart types. And she's explaining why she no longer has sex with her husband. Woo! Anyway, I thought this would be a great kickoff point because it's pretty painful.
This is the biggest reason that women stop having sex with their husbands, and I know what's coming in the comment section, and I don't care because I have to spit the truth. And yes, I do know what I'm talking about. I know, Stuart, you're going to comment and say, well, maybe it's this, this, and this, and you're going to get kind of mad about what I have to say. But here's the deal. I have a doctorate in social psychology. I've spent my entire adult life studying romantic relationships, the science of romantic relationships, both studying the science as well as publishing in the science. And so I am very well versed in this topic, not to mention that I've seen thousands of clients and heard from thousands of women about why they won't have sex with their husbands. So, Joe, if you know better, for sure put it in the comments, but I think I have some credibility. And if this is a problem in your relationship, you might want to humble yourself and take a seat and hear what I have to say. The primary reason why women stop having sex with their husbands is because they don't feel emotionally safe. And the reason that they don't feel emotionally safe is because their attachment needs are not being met inside of their relationship. Attachment needs are our deepest needs inside of a romantic relationship. And if those things are not fulfilled, we will not feel emotionally safe. And especially for women, when there is a lack of emotional safety, they start feeling very unsafe giving their bodies to their partner, and they start to feel extremely unattracted to their partner. Like they simply can't get physically turned on by their partners anymore. So if you're not familiar with my content, you might be asking, how do I know what their attachment needs are? Well, there's a lot of information about attachment out there. You could dig through my videos and you could probably
kind of hijacked the attachment theory. What she's conveying is she's just changed the language a little bit. You know how chore play, that's what she actually recommends later, in the video.
Yeah.
Is, if the guy helped around the house a little bit more, maybe she'd be turned on.
Because there's nothing sexier than a man doing dishes.
Exactly. Oh. But she's using the phrase be safe to substitute it for comfortable. And for the last 20 years, we've heard, women need to be comfortable. Well, they don't. In fact, it's the exact opposite.
And it goes right along with the boredom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, women, and that's the risk of actually you can't be like a 10 out of 10 asshole your whole life. One, it's hard on your heart. You know what I mean? Like literally your physical health. But you do have to have some of that because these guys, they start out with anxiety, making sure some mystery, but then over time, they become very predictable and very easy to read, and they're doing more for, and they're running the kids around, and they kind of get into dad and husband mode, and then then you start they go to counseling with like this woman, and he's like, I'm doing everything I can. She's just getting madder and madder, when what he should actually be doing is less, passive dread, going to the gym, disappearing for a few hours, text her less, let her take care of the kids, let her get a job, just let her go do her thing. And just write it out, go do your own thing. Because it's kind of like they said, when it comes down to dread, the outcome's going to be the same. You're going to take care of yourself, and she'll either be there or she won't. And either way, it's fine. That's a
good point to make, I think.
Yeah.
But I think that it's so natural in relationship, especially once it becomes marriage, family, once everybody is in there and you're living life every day. It is hard to send sexy selfies every day, from the bathroom when he's over here. Like there's a lot that kind of falls by the wayside in the sexiness of relationships when it truly gets into relationship mode. And it's the bottom line is what this woman's not saying, what this woman's, like you said, is calling safety.
Yeah, safety.
She's like, it's not a safety issue. No. It's a boredom issue. Girls don't want to feel, we want safety, but we don't want to feel all that safe.
Exactly.
We want to feel a little bit challenged. We want to feel like we have to kind of work to keep our spot. the most dangerous girls in relationships are the ones who know they could, if something happened, they have a backup already. They know who they would call. They know they wouldn't have any problem getting a man. That's the most dangerous girl in a relationship because she'll blow everything up.
Yeah. And he's like, out of loyalty, he hasn't talked to another woman other than at work like in 5 years.
Right.
It would make him uncomfortable.
Well, that's like I saw a video last night on something, and it was like this girl's trying to get guys to rate her appeal, and he said, she's like, hey, rate me 1 to 10. He said, I have a girlfriend. She said, so you won't rate me? He said, no, I have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
He's like, well, what attractiveness level or whatever is your girlfriend? She's my girlfriend. She's a 10 out of 10. She's amazing. Like, he's like in it.
Yeah.
Which is lovely.
If it's reciprocated.
I think that's the big scary thing that guys have to watch out for is she constantly celebrating you? Is she constantly lifting you up? Is she, if you're celebrating her, awesome. Like, make no mistake, before the shit hit the fan with the Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith relationship, people were like, holy fuck, they are quite the team. But looking back, you see that she wasn't reciprocating his
level of enthusiasm for her.
Yeah. And that's more than just personality stuff. I mean, I get that not everybody's outgoing. Not everybody's, shows their enthusiasm or their love in the same way. But you still have to see, like, is she posting nothing but sexy selfies on social media? Or is she posting selfies where she maybe doesn't look all that great, but you look pretty cute? Or whatever the case may be, there has to be a reciprocation. Safety in the way that this woman is talking about it is complete and utter bullshit.
Yeah, it's just she's using be safe instead of comfortable, which people have been using for the last 20 years. And we know it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And guys that have tried to pander and make her more comfortable just end up divorced and confused.
Exactly.
Sometimes they show up on our doorstep, and that's okay. But again, a lot of things were going on in the background of what this counselor had, and again, that's why we suggest people not to counseling.
Yeah.
Because it's feminine centric, and it's almost always about the man changing something.
Yeah, most are. I know that they do exist but I think it would be hard to find the ones that are like really male centric or at least can genuinely kind of mediate and see both sides of the equation.
Yeah. And usually if a counselor brings up that the wife needs to make some changes, she's out of there.
Yeah, we're not going there.
Yeah, we're done.
But with that being said, I love this Twitter trend. We definitely need a revival of whatever this is. And it's all of these hyper masculine. I love this. We definitely need a revival of whatever this is. I mean, it's so good.
It's pretty funny.
So good. What a great thread. There have been a lot of those. But I would love to see your we definitely need a revival posts. That would be awesome. All right. We have a question that's a carryover from this morning, but we're going to go on and dive into that.
Thank you for your patience.
Yes. Thank you, Ian. Okay. So, hey, Tony, how are you? I'm so excited you're here. Okay. Oh, this single question is entered into like multiple, which makes me crazy, by the way. But I will not shit on you, Ian. Clearly, you've had more time to think about this question. Okay. So he says, I had a breakup recently. Valid reasons, but no cheating or anything. She dumped me. We don't talk now and wondering how to proceed. Hard to get over it because I really did like her. Then he says, We are in mid-20s. She thought I didn't want a future with her, but I did. Wasn't good communication. She said it was too little, too late, and her feelings already changed. And that's a biggie. Once girls turn it off, it's next to impossible to turn it back on. Just nearly impossible. She had to move quickly and asked me to move in. I said no because it was short notice, but failed to explain that it was a not right now instead of a flat no. Since then, she's decided to travel. Yeah, I bet she has. And go back to school. This is a classic breakup combo for girls. Seems like she's moving on as she is and not sure what to do. She was great and I have a lot of regret. Obviously, breakups aren't hard for me usually, but this one stings a lot. I don't hear you guys talking about this side of things too often. Good.
Didn't you write a book?
I did write a book on it. It's called The Breakup Recovery Guide. And it's, oh, I guess it would help if I'd show this page. It's, motherfucker. Let's try this. The Breakup Recovery Guide, $9.
Such a good deal.
But we'll still answer the question.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, I just wanted to point out that Bunny should take lead because she's put it together, you know.
I think the biggest thing that you have to understand is some of the things I've already said, that women, absolutely, if she tells you that she's done, she was done 3, 6, probably 9, 12 months ago. This is not a new thought for her. The fact that she's already back in school, the fact that she's traveling, this is not new information for her. She was already planning this. Women who are already in a relationship or married are already stocking money away. They're already secretly packing things. They are preparing for their next step before they even let you know what this step is. Okay. So that's why it seems like she's moved on, because women go through the pain of that relationship break before you actually are even aware that it's happening. And so by the time she lets you know, she's essentially through it. She's mourned the relationship, and she's mourned what she's lost for you with you, because truly she already felt it. She did mourn it. Make no mistake. I don't mean to sound like she is a completely calloused bitch and isn't mourning things, but understand that if she lets you know, she's already felt that. Okay. It's kind of like your relationship has been in a coma of sorts. So whenever you had the accident that put you in a coma, or whatever the tipping point was, that broke her heart. She was destroyed then. And maybe she tried to revive you. Maybe she tried to be in there and be there for you. But that relationship became dormant. And so there was no revival of that. And once you died, once this relationship died in her, viewpoint, then she lets you know. And but she's already mourned it. So now it's time for you to mourn it.
This is what I've tried to convey, because this is one of those things I could not wrap my head around for the longest time. And most men, it's the first time they're really shocked at women's behaviors, how fast, like a long-term relationship, how fast she moves on.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I can convey to men is, you're in a job. Let's say you spent 15 years in this job, and your best friend comes to you and offers you a similar job, but it's going to be in 6 months that you'll leave. You start mentally disassociating yourself from the job you're in. And at that point, you start moving stuff out, you start taking files, you start, but you haven't told anybody, because when you leave, you got to leave.
Right.
And that's also why the day that you go to your boss, you go, hey, look, I've had a great 15-year run, but I'm leaving to go to this other job. And they're like, what can we do to keep you? Can we pay you more? You need more benefits? I mean, what can we do? It's over. You've already mentally checked out.
That's perfect.
You're gone. And that's how guys.
That's a lot less boring of an example than I gave.
Yeah, that's okay. Because I remember kind of like it clicked and how to convey this to men.
Yeah.
Because they're like, what? You know, I mean, but it's no different than a job. And women do look at men much more like a job than a romantic, you know, interlude. Men are the romantics. So women, it's more utilitarian.
Yeah.
But that's how you should, and that's why no matter what you really do, she's already moved on to her new job.
Yeah.
You know, so you go, you don't worry about it, you replace it.
But as far as Ian's question goes, what I absolutely would recommend is take the lessons about like saying, hey, I'm not saying not ever. I'm just saying now is I don't feel like I'm there yet, you know, when about the moving in thing. Or actually saying what you mean and not saying a half-assed version of it. And I think
Are you telling them to contact her? And tell her
No,
this?
no, no.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying when she was like, let's move in together, and he said no, he said he meant not right now.
Yeah.
But he just said no, you know.
Yeah.
So things like that, I think it's okay to be like, I'm not there. I don't think that would be a good idea for us right now. I'm not saying it will never happen. I'm saying right now is not good for this, and this reason. So it's not just a rejection of her. It's just a rejection of the idea for valid reasons.
And I'm going to convey this too. Women have a plan in their head. I don't care what they tell you.
Yeah.
They have a plan in their head and it goes boyfriend. This is traditional. It may vary just a little bit. Boyfriend, engagement, wedding, house, babies.
Yeah.
She might put the living together ahead of the engagement, but that would be the next step.
Yeah.
You just have to know that women have a plan because they want to have ultimately children at some point between 28 and 35. They want to get this thing done. And if she's in her late 20s, mid to late 20s, she's already starting to roll this direction.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to step away from a guy who has voiced his opinion of no. And again, all you can do with this is take that knowledge and move forward, because we know a lot of people that break up because in her head, they've been dating for 2.5, 3 years. And in her head, she's like, why are we not engaged?
Exactly.
And the guy has literally never thought about it.
Yeah.
He didn't know. I mean,
Yeah.
his parents didn't tell him, no friends told him. He's not part of our community.
Exactly.
And she is fucking livid.
Yeah.
And she's at the point of hating his guts because he never even brings it up.
Right. And
But-
you nailed it too, because they were together almost 4 years.
Yeah, that's a lot of time for a girl in her 20s.
Yeah.
You got to show your hand. And
That's
go,
decades.
This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
You got to give her the plan, because her dating endlessly, they're not going to sit around for that.
No.
The exception, but you need to be very clear up front. You know, that way she can move on if she wants to.
Yeah.
You know, 4 years in their 20s.
We feel for you, Ian. We really do, because breakups are never fun, and if they're easy, then nobody would talk about it.
Yeah, we wouldn't write a book on it.
But just take the lessons and move on.
Yeah, this is one of those things, like in 10 years, like when you are married or you're sitting around with like your 5 girlfriends, you're like, yeah, I remember I was with this girl for like 4 years and then she just broke up with me, just like it was over. But you won't feel anything.
Yeah.
It's a lesson learned.
Yeah.
Time heals all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I do, and I'll suggest this too. Take the lessons that you learned, but get back into the game, because you can recover at the same time that you're practicing for the next section of your life.
And you can recover better if you're distracted.
Yeah, and you can do both at once. I mean, a lot of guys will sit there and spend a year or two like in their own head and going to the gym or not going to the gym and drinking. And I mean,
Crying.
Instead, you can process it while focusing on your next step.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I would
He
suggest.
says, do I ever reach out to her?
Nope.
No.
No.
No. And how to handle it if she texts you. You know, I'd say like because she'll use like birthdays, she'll use, memories that pop up as kind of an excuse to reach out to you. And I would say if you want to respond, respond with something like, Roger that, or I mean honestly, like something kind of, respond so she knows that you saw it, but don't give it any energy. Like, yeah, that was a good time. That was a long time ago.
Here's your options.
Go for it.
If you do want to sleep with her again, and she reaches out, not you reach out. If she reaches out to you,
yeah,
you can go, hey, why don't you come on over? Bring, I have some wine over here. Set up a meetup, but you're not there to talk. You can start moving her back into, either fuck or fuck off. But if she reaches out to you, you need to be very upfront that, hey, I'll be more than happy to have sex with you, but we're just going to do that, So, hey, you want to meet up? No? Okay, bye, good luck. You need to get off the phone because you're not a sponge. So those are you have options.
Yeah.
And like Bunny says, not responding sometimes or responding with something dismissive. If you've already moved on mentally and you don't feel like dealing with it, and if you're not confident in yourself around her still, then don't meet up.
Well, and the bottom line is, we're talking about, this was a relationship. This wasn't just like a fucking, a fucking relationship.
Yeah.
This was actually like a serious relationship. So that's why I said what I did. It's like, because if you get back with someone that you were in a real relationship with at one point, that means you better be getting married in her book.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying like the fuck me or fuck off works, and I totally agree with that. But I think that's more applicable for relationships that were much more casual to begin with,
Right.
or shorter lived.
This
was almost 4 years old.
Yeah,
So.
these are just options.
Yeah. Woo!
You have to. That's the thing is timing and logistics. Hell, you might live somewhere else by the time she does reach out.
Yeah.
So these are the two things that are most important: is timing and hell, you might have a girl, living with you.
Yeah.
By the time she reaches back out.
Tony Bruno makes a good point. Make sure you have your read receipts off during texting, so that way she doesn't see when you read the message, or if you read it at all. I think that's
good.
A good.
I like when the old school guys get in and go, here's the basics. Don't forget the basics.
Yeah,
Because
seriously.
the basics matter. That's funny. That is funny.
Exactly. Excellent. All right, you handsome devils. Back to Twitter X. I don't know if I'm ever going to stop calling it Twitter. It must suck to be a career woman in a committed relationship with a guy who has less power than the guys in middle management from her office. I thought that was so fucking good.
That's pretty funny.
I thought that was really good. Well, and I think it goes hand in hand with, with this, psychology doctor lady who, wants to hear herself talk and be oh so important to justify not having sex with her husband.
There's plenty of very high income, powerful women that come home to a guy that can't keep a job.
Yeah.
He's been drinking all day, but he's charismatic and she's happy. And once she gets home, he makes all the decisions.
Yeah.
This is not concrete at all.
Yeah.
It's how most guys that think that money is romantic or money is a big seducer think, but you can override all of that with game. It's if it messes with you internally that she makes more than you, then it's probably not a good fit. But if you could care less and you enjoy spending her money, you might be the right position. So don't let that stop you.
Don't let it stop you. I should never sing. I don't know what I'm doing today. I don't know what the hell is going on.
I know, I was doing that 3 hours ago.
Okay, Chris Baxter. And this is more like the fitness versus the finances and the fucking stuff.
Oh, there you go.
I always thought construction workers and tradespeople were naturally fit from their jobs. That was naive. Some of the worst habits and physiques I've seen. 1000%. We totally agree with this. Because guys in physically demanding jobs kind of do have this mindset like, I've been at it all day.
Yeah.
But I think that's similar to even in personal training. You've been in a gym all day. Certainly you've worked out.
Not
You know,
necessarily.
not
Not
necessarily.
necessarily. We were actually training working in health and fitness, in case you ever have the bad idea, say, I want to own a gym or be a personal trainer. Working in health and fitness has absolutely nothing to do with your health and fitness.
Yeah,
If anything, it'll be detrimental, and it'll suck the joy right out of it.
it's true. Ian makes a good point. Being a construction worker makes you want to drink. All those beers add up. They're also too tired to go to the gym, which is an important factor. Like they genuinely are doing physical jobs, even if they're the foreman who's just standing out there watching other people. When I was coming down the street this morning, there was like a whole crew of people, of guys like working their asses off on the street, and one guy was leaning against a pole on his phone. I was like, yeah, but he'll still be too tired to go to the gym at the end of the day.
Here's the deal. No one exercises.
Yeah.
But even if you go out on a work site, say there's 100 guys, there'll be one guy that actually has somehow stuck with it his whole life.
Yeah.
But the other 99, working in construction was enough for him. You know, I mean, that's the deal. I mean, you can take this to pretty much any other job too. But construction, especially in Texas, because it's like blistering hot, like 8 months out, there's just no way you could do it. I mean, they start like 6 a.m. to stay out of the sun.
Yeah.
And they're done by 2 or 3. Sure, they could go to the gym, but they're already blasted.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard.
And
It's
they'd
hard
rather
to
get blasted.
They would rather. Yeah. And it's interesting though, and I'm going to convey this because I picked this up from Roosh V, because he went and worked for like a month or 3 months as a carpenter.
Yeah.
Like as an intern, I guess you'd say. But he worked exactly what these carpenters did.
Just for the sake of the experience.
Yeah, he wanted the experience because, being a writer causes you to become very soft. He had never really experienced any of that.
Yeah.
And he said that he couldn't write anything because he said by the time he got home, his brain was blasted. He went straight to bed. And then on the weekends, he was literally recovering all weekend. And some of these guys got their paycheck and started drinking on Friday.
Yeah.
And they didn't stop drinking till they were on their way back into work on Monday. And he said, and somehow they actually were invigorated.
Right.
They are truly built different. There's some men that can just take that kind of physical abuse and they actually are more robust. It's really crazy. But, not everyone can keep up with that.
Woo, that's a lot.
And I've seen it too. It's not a pretty build. But it's pretty unique, And there's enough of them that we get things built.
And they're genuinely strong, but
yes.
it's not like the health and longevity.
No. They would rather like smash their hand with a hammer than go to the gym.
Yeah.
But they are strong.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was a pretty good one. Okay, so this cracked me up. I know this has already been making the rounds, but what is she training?
That's pretty funny.
Her Instagram boyfriend. Exactly.
That's pretty funny.
Exactly. That just cracks me up. All right. Woo! Let's share this tab instead. All right. This goes along with something that we've talked about before too. Need all females to bookmark this and all males to shame so that we can achieve total skinny population. This is urgent. We must take full control now. There is too much at risk. And we've talked about this.
We talk about this all the time.
All the time. But it goes hand in hand with the other things that we've discussed today. So, there's just so much. I mean, there are seasons of life that it just becomes really difficult to take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
But those seasons are just seasons.
Yes, correct. That's true. Even I've been training for like 40 years. And then when I went from running one gym, owning one gym to owning 2 gyms, I probably gained 30 pounds,
Right.
you know, in a 5-year period.
Yeah.
You know, and after I started consulting with other fitness business owners, 30 pounds is about your average for everybody their first year in business.
Exactly.
I don't care who
For
you
men.
are. Yeah. And this is in the gym business. So you're talking about people that already have the fitness habit,
Right.
but you can kind of tell when the business is leveled out. It'll be like 2 or 3 years in, and they'll be like, okay, I got to get back into shape,
Yeah.
you know, because they've been sacrificing it, you know, their time.
It's true.
It doesn't mean they stopped working out. It just means that it wasn't a focus, you know. So yeah, it's seasons. But in general, America is in very, very bad shape. But everybody knows that watches
Well,
us.
I mean, thinking of even with COVID, like it genuinely sought to knock out us from our health, you know.
Oh yeah.
And what was it that you always said about that with the, oh, you're not going to think of it either because you're too tired. But we were just talking about like it's dangerous for our national security
Oh
to
yeah.
be such an unhealthy population.
Yeah. If COVID really focused on people with metabolic issues,
Yeah.
meaning fat and out of shape, and that is basically the U.S. 90%. I mean, don't kid yourself. And I know this sounds horrible, but I say it all the time. 90% of the U.S. is overweight. Nobody's going to believe it,
Yeah.
but you can walk around and look around. 9 out of 10 people are fat. 99 out of 100 are fat.
Yeah.
You know, they're all fat. And the reason you don't think they are is you see them all the time, all these fat people. After a while, that's what you think is normal.
Yeah.
But you see the silhouette of a truly fit person or a person that is of a healthy, natural weight, and they look skinny.
Exactly. They
So-
look too skinny.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like the girl in that picture.
Yeah.
And something was on the timeline earlier today. People don't either they have a short memory or they weren't born yet, but most people were pretty good looking like in the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was pretty good looking.
And 70s, I would say even more so.
Yeah. I mean, there's something about, because that slimness, everybody looked better.
Everyone looks better when they are not inflamed, when they aren't carrying extra body weight or extra body fat, you know, have a little bit of muscle tone. Everyone looks healthier and therefore looks more youthful, looks more energized, looks more enthusiastic, and it doesn't matter how young or old you are, that applies.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, yeah, it's because we live in like an entertainment district, and we'll see like 4 college girls who should all be thin.
All of them should be.
And it'll be either 3 are heavy and 1 is a decent weight, or all 4 are heavy.
All 4.
There's never it's nothing else.
It's true.
Yeah, it's
It's
really
true.
crazy.
It's sad but true. And I mean, even with our personal training and clients that we have, if girls come to us and they say, I think we're talking about, you know, having a baby or whatever, we really, really, really encourage you and your husband, get in shape first. You know, lose the extra weight first. Focus on that first. It'll make getting pregnant easier. It'll make the pregnancy easier. It'll make the recovery easier. It'll pass on better genetics to your
genetics.
children.
Yeah.
There's no downside to both of you passing on the best genetic.
I'm laughing because
I'm like, why are you laughing right now?
because it still doesn't motivate a lot of them.
No,
You know,
it's true.
I mean,
And then they have really horrible
hard
pregnancies.
and the kids, you know, not as healthy as they could be.
Yeah, they have it's
Chumbawambas.
makes me so mad. Whew, okay, with that being said, on another note, fitness, finances, and fucking. If you have not checked out Fort Worth's Gumroad page, do so. I think that you need to talk about this tech support because it's such a unique concept, and
Yeah.
you do it.
Tech support is unlimited support, because most guys, I noticed when I really first started doing this, would reach out with an immediate question.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I'm about to go into dinner, or they're in the bathroom at dinner,
Yeah.
you know, or having drinks with a girl, or she's texted them and he's not sure what to respond.
Yeah,
And you can only respond quickly to such a volume. You know, I mean, we have 2 businesses. So tech support allows me to focus in and actually be your wingman.
Yeah.
In a sense, pretty much almost instantaneously.
Yeah.
You know, there will be times where there might be a little bit of lag, but if we know you're out, we'll be available.
Well, and it's been really beneficial to the clients that you've had that have been on the tech support program, because even if it's not like a necessity right then, it's essentially a consult with Fort Worth
constantly
at your fingertips.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it'll be like, I am really struggling. My wife keeps doing this, or my girlfriend keeps doing this.
That may be what it's used. I mean, that's what it's used for.
Most.
More. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more strategic than tactical, but the tactical is available. You know, I think it's sexier.
Yeah.
But strategic is, you know, this is what she said. This is where we're at. What should we do? And then you have 2 educated brains. Well, 3 actually, me, her, and you, working on this problem.
Yeah.
You know, and
It's true.
And we're enthusiasts too. Like we dig down into this stuff and put the best plan possible together and options.
It's true. Excellent. Good show, baby.
We appreciate you guys watching. I will be back on at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, Central Standard Time.
I'm loving you do a daily morning show now.
It's been quite the experience, which is not, it's not that hard. It's 30 minutes. So, but we appreciate
Just
you
be
guys here.
gentle with him, because he doesn't quite have the technology down.
No, exactly. Yeah.
It's an easy platform to use, but it's also, you know.
All you got to do is be a little bit slow that morning and you miss something.
It's okay. It's all
If
right.
you have any questions, we would love to hear them live, so we can actually answer them while you can, you know, ask follow-up questions. And Ian, I hope we helped you out. Almost everyone goes through what you've gone through,
Yeah.
and you'll make it out the other side. It's just awful when you're in the middle of it.
It is. It is.
We understand.
We want you to win.